This is the open format, where, as you can see, the runners have the choice of starting at Link's house or starting at the sanctuary. And it looks like Allison is going to head toward the lumberjack, and P-Train going in a different direction. Kind of interesting to see where this might lead. And, let's see, we have a tree check being small magic. P-Train trying fake flippers, perhaps. And we have Alazon going into the lumberjack cave, and we'll see. Oh, there we go, a Houlihan room for P-Train. Looks like not much there for the lumberjack cave. Nice little $20 bill. Alazon gonna start into the Lost Woods, and more than likely gonna head down to Kakariko after checking the loose item. Another rupee. So let's see what we have down at the bottom of Lost Woods here. 5-bomb upgrade. Now, if P-Train goes to do the escape, which it looks like he's in position to do, he will not have the benefit of a lantern. And it looks like we're going to have an uncle check. Oh, $300 this time. Unlike the standard format, the uncle is not guaranteed to have a weapon in the open format. And it looks like after checking the uncle in the first chest, P-Train finds nothing of value and nopes out. We're going to have ourselves Blind's Basement from Alazon. Unfortunately, no bombs, so not going to be able to check what's behind the wall. Oh, there we go. And yes, I am alone, but we have a Moon Pearl and a hook shot hiding in Blind's basement. And unfortunately, yes, I am alone. Spy Poet should be along to replace Claymore, who was supposed to stream with me, but oh well, stuff happens.
Freako, please, sweetheart.
I know you're not going to abandon me. Claymore, I think he's done enough with me and just said, no, I don't want any more of him. But Alazon, looks like we picked up our flute, and we know what that means. Everybody stand up, salute. It's time for the playing of our Hylian national anthem.
Am I allowed to take a nap instead? It's just soothing.
Well, with all the hard work you've been doing, Spy Poet, you probably deserve it, but it looks like you're going to have to put in a little overtime today.
It happens.
Now that the goose is loose for Alazon here, it looks like with Hookshot in tow, we're going to have a trip to Tower of Hera in the near future.
Of course, we don't have any fire source yet, so Hera could very well be fire source locked for us today.
Well, it looks like you could still check a good number of places. It looks like with the Hookshot at least, a couple parts of Death Mountain are opened up.
That's true. There's always the very random possibility of finding the Titan's Mitts up here as well.
Well, that's entirely true. I mean, wherever there's chests, there's, the idea that you can find something in them. Unfortunately, the Moon Pearl and Hookshot. Oh, Fire Rod. That's a nice little thing to have, I hear.
That does completely open up Tower of Hera, and if there is something down there in the basement.
So you would qualify that as a fire source then?
I mean, it's right there in the name.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's not so obvious.
Very true. Very, very true. Have we had a map check at all?
I don't believe so. Neither player has checked their map as of yet, but P-Train's about to pick up a Hookshot and a Moon Pearl, and we'll also see what's behind door number 2, as Alazun did not have any bombs checking the basement here.
A big 20 up on the floating island. Good to know we don't have to worry about the extra, 15 seconds to go check that?
Oh! Alazun, get some bombs, kid! You missed out on a mirror. That is so inconvenient.
Oh yeah, this makes movement so much nicer. Early game, having the mirror, flute, and hookshot early like this.
Well, with both of them basically having only a hookshot and a fire rod as, methods of attack. Well, I guess bombs too, but, I mean, Alazun looks like they're going to head down to, what is that? What would be Swamp Palace. Maybe check the desert too?
No bombs, so unless Alazun finds one here in the dam, they're not going to be able to check against cave.
Ooh, interesting hookshot strat there. Unfortunately for Alazun, missing out on the mirror at the back of our Kakariko town basement. And, well, they both have gloves, at least the first gloves. Alazun sees the rupees, nopes out of that. P-Train's going to follow up on the escape. At this point, looks like we're going to see what the escape would have held. Oh, medallion, a key, and money. I'm
Combo
still waiting.
says,
There we go. Alazun picks up some bombs, and P-Train's gonna, unfortunately, try to fly dark through the escape room. And you could only imagine how bad I'm cringing right now, because I know where Alazun needs to go to get the mirror. And we just found our Titan's mitts as well in the library.
that's that means we should actually be finding boots at some point during this seed. They will not be boots locked.
Yeah, there's definitely a guarantee on the boots here. I don't know if it's a money-back guarantee, but there's definitely a guarantee of boots. So what do you think? Pedlock, boots, Zora? Oh, mini Moldorm cave with the fire rod, a sword, powder, and some other useless nonsense.
It's Mini Moldorm Cave.
You mean the new Hype Cave, right?
New Hype Cave until we see Hype Cave.
All right. You got me on that one. At this point, it looks like P-Train's not too far behind with, gonna check the mini Moldorm cave here and pick up a sword along with, some other oddities.
Hookshot, of course, makes mini Moldorm cave with the sword super easy.
Ooh, a second sword in the Ice Palace cave. So we have
Interesting.
a Master Sword. That puts my prospects of Aghanim being required back on the menu.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We could very much find Hammer sitting there on Pyramid Ledge, Boots on Pyramid Ledge.
Well, Aghanim 1 has a drop on their own, and I would absolutely love it if Aghanim dropped his boots at the end of that fight. I don't know if it's possible, but just the prospect of it is making me just kind of giggle like a little schoolgirl right now.
I would love to actually hear you giggle like a schoolgirl, Frico.
I try to hold it back, but, you know, in this one instance, I will indulge. Only if Aghanim drops boots. As we have P-Train trying to pull off a fakes flipper here. Looks like having a little trouble with the screen transition. Ah, there we go. Looks like P-Train got it this time around.
I have no idea where Alizum is right now.
I believe in, yeah, I was going to say, I thought Death Mountain, so it looks like we're going to have an old man check. He's pretty rich this time around. Looks like he gave his whole retirement fund away there.
Looks like it.
So what do you think our hobo under the bridge is holding?
The entirety of his life savings as well.
No wonder he's hiding under a bridge. Looks like P-Train looks like gonna be going to the waterfall. It definitely has enough to go for Zora at this point. That whole domain. Check the ledge, check the waterfall. See what the Zora investment program has for us today.
Yes. Of course, these fake flippers being a complete sequence break.
Oh no, I think P-Train is might be stuck. Well, just bombs and a piece of heart, so nothing too spectacular there. It looks like P-Train is going to go for Zora and maybe dip over far enough we could see what's on the ledge. Oh, there's a bow.
Well,
Alright, looks like P-Train's going to see what our Zora investment program has for us today.
an arrow upgrade for the bow we now know about.
And I am absolutely shocked that P-Train did a save and quit. Oh, there was a map check. It looks like Destination 3 was a crystal, I think was Eastern Palace. But I would definitely have tried to go for that bow that I saw on the ledge. P-Train thinking otherwise, but, you know, even if I get silver arrows, can't do me any good unless I have the bow to shoot them with, right?
Right. Plus, it's such a long trip to make back up there just for one item, even if it is the bow.
Well, don't you just go down from Zora pretty much and get to that ledge?
Yeah. Speaking of silvers and King of Verna,
Oh, they can't fake flipper through that portion. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Because I'm trying to go, all right, why did both of them do this? I know it's kind of like muscle memory to just go to Zora, see what Zora has, and then just like immediately save and quit.
looks like we've got P-Train saving the old man here.
And Alazun is, well, technically ahead by the fire rod. P-Train has not picked up that item as of yet. All right. What's their moves now? Tower of Hera? Uh-oh.
I would guess so. Ooh.
Somebody broke it. And I know who did it.
Alright, let's get some refreshes in here.
Oh boy. Can we get some Mr. Destructoids in the chat here? There seems to be a little bit of a issue. And unfortunately, I think that's all anybody has right now, is just a little bit of audio. So
We're sorry about the stream, folks. We're trying to fix it now. Oh!
Okay, we're back on our two-player mode. Hopefully, I don't know if we're going to have four-player mode or not today. Unfortunately, they pretty much let me fly blind and just, you know, go commentate. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh?
Oh, look what we found. On the bottom left, we have Nale, who has picked up a crystal and defeated Moldorm as Marty7449 on the yellow screen has joined us. Looks like found a hammer at the end of the escape route. Ooh, interesting.
Also, chat, if we could, if anyone looking at Nail or Marty's screen can help out our trackers with the, can help out our trackers with them, please. Thank you.
Well, Marty definitely just picked up the hammer. I saw Nale just opened up their inventory not too long ago, but I didn't catch very much of what they had. Alizun is picking up a bomb upgrade from a bat. P-Train's going through Tower of Hera.
So, with that hammer friend, though, and we already do have gloves, I don't think Aga's one is required anymore, Frico.
If Aga has boots, that's the dream.
That's true.
You just gotta believe, that's all. You just gotta pick something and believe in it. And, well, if it's not true, then you call it a religion. But yeah, unfortunately, we were supposed to have 4 people, to my knowledge, but we started with 2. And now that everything's been hopefully sorted out, we're trying to catch up the bottom 2 runners and the trackers so that we have accurate information. So, again, if chat can help us out in any way, if they happen to catch an inventory screen opening up, that would be fantastic. Looks like P-Train has made it to Trolldorm and gonna finish off first crystal, Tower of Hera, if everything goes as planned. Alizun looks to be headed toward Thieves Town.
Well, then we got ourselves a map check. Green at Swamp, blue and red at Pod and Mire. And our 256s are Turtle Rock and Ice Palace.
Well, now it's good they have the Fire Rod and the Ice Rod, because both of them are definitely needed. P-Train finishes off Tower of Hera, and looks like they have their first crystal. Well, give the bottle, get a bottle.
I was just about to ask. It looked like Six gave us a bottle for showing him a bottle.
If only this wasn't a PG stream. If only. I really want to say something, but I'm just going to make idle chatter instead for, until that thought just exits my mind. Alright, looks like we have Alizun going pretty much straight to the boss at the end of Skull Woods here. Looks like Marty, unfortunately, taking a death. But Nale's gonna be headed up. Let's see. Is that... yeah, that's a hobo check there. You know, that's not going to reward Nale with too much there. Alazon's a little bit in trouble. With only 5 hearts, Skullwoods might be a very difficult ask. But you never know. Looks like Alazon picks up a second heart and looks like about ready to have a go at Mothula. Unfortunately, one hit, I believe, is going to be all that Alazon needs to take, and that'll... Oh, no. Mothula pushed Alazon right into... oh, we have a fairy. Alright, now the strategy makes more sense.
Ooh. And Alazon picks up a heart for the next boss he decides to fight.
Yeah, that would not be Mothula. I'm gonna have to see if Alazon didn't do Tower of Hera first. Hopefully we can take a look at the inventory when that gets opened up. I believe they have changed, or something happens when you get a heart container, when you fake flipper into Waterfall or Zora and get a heart refills. You know, I don't know enough as to why it happens, but I know that it happens. Oh,
and P-Train just found a Boots and Hype Cave.
Well, no giggling like a schoolgirl today. Unfortunate.
Darn.
Yeah, I figured you would be disappointed.
I am. P-Train's riding here, though. Very good. We'll be able to just mirror back to Lightworld and hit Library real fast.
And that will give the Titansmiths to P-Train having the boots so close by. Looks like checking the race game. Or no, we're going to have a little dig in the shovel game. And after 12 digs, we get ourselves a piece of heart. And P-Train just kind of nopes on out of there. Looks like going to check the race game, but hopefully heading up to that library to pick up the myths that I know P-Train saw.
Yep.
Nale seems to be trying to think things through here on the map screen, and it doesn't look like they've got any specific goal in mind as to where they want to try next.
Does look like they haven't hit escape here because they don't seem to have the hammer.
It looks like that's going to be interesting. I would have figured moving over there would have went to the escape sequence, but I think Nale, with just picking up that chest in the sanctuary, most likely started from the house. And might be trying to do the escape sequence and picking up the hammer. And Alazan picks up our flippers in the Thieves' Town shed and hopefully remembers that the Zora ledge was where the bow was. But I think for right now it's going to be checking everything out in Thieves' Town as P-Train's actually delivering the lumberjack. Marty took a death somewhere. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I only green go red. But P-Train's delivering the blacksmith. So let's see what the blacksmith has in store for us here. Oh, another piece of heart. And it looks like Nale is doing the escape sequence at this point with the fire rod. At least there's a fire source for the dark rooms. We have P-Train and Marty both checking the bat, which I believe is an arrow upgrade.
You are correct.
And now I'm trying to figure out where Alazan's going through. That looks like it might be Thieves' Town?
It is indeed.
I'm so used to all the wonky palettes with like the atomizers and things like that. I almost forgot what Thieves' Town actually looks like.
Well, here you go. Have a reminder.
Yeah, I'll take notes. I'll even take a picture. That'll last longer, and that way I won't have to worry about, where I hid my notes either. Alazan's still sitting on 6 hearts, which I think is a little precarious, along with Nale on 5 hearts. Looks like P-Train's actually got a little more security in that, being able to take a hit or two with 8 hearts right now.
Not to mention with Half Magic and Cane of Burna, the blind fight is pretty easy with the combination of items.
Yeah, that's very true. This looks like one we could almost pencil in, because you have just about everything you'd want to have to go and take that on. Marty has checked our Dark World flutist, but I did not see what it was.
I didn't catch it either, unfortunately. Also, it looks like Nali picked up the King of Samaria from Eastern Palace big chest while we were trying to get them on stream.
Well, yeah, I know with Nolly and Marty, I don't... if we're caught up with their items yet, because they were not originally picked up at the beginning of the stream. We only started with Alazon and P-Train, so just as another reminder, if chat sees something that is not on the tracker, feel free to say something.
Yeah.
Alright, Alazon looks like delivering blind to their final destination, so I don't know if... No cane, so this could be a tough ask if Alazon does not pull off the blind patterns, because blind does move in a specific pattern.
Well, makes quick first head.
Ooh, that's good hookshot usage to get the iframes from using the hookshot and take down blind, get some bombs, get a crystal, and that's going to be it for Thieves Town for Alazon. Looks like P-Train's going to have a go at blind at this point. Well, fairly quickly disposing of blind. Alazon's going for the dig game, and we know it'll be 12 digs for a piece of heart. I don't know if Alazon's going to be too thrilled about that or not. And it looks like Marty is on their way to pick up an arrow upgrade from Zora, but hopefully saw that bow on Zora's ledge, and I'll head down there with the flippers to pick that up.
Looks like they did.
So we have our first runner on stream with the bow at this point. And that is correct. Blind is the only scripted boss. Nolly has the boots and causing a little noise in the library to pick up the Titan's mitts.
Alazon not far behind the others here, getting those boots.
Ah, that's where the boots were hiding. Okay. So now, Alazon... Now, what... do you think you kind of go out of your way and just go for the bow at this point, just to have it?
That's a really good question. I mean...
And look, you know, Eastern Palace is a crystal dungeon. And I'm kind of going, alright.
And you have to dip at Eastern at some point, because that's where Nolly found Canis Maria.
So if I'm Alazon right now, I kind of go, alright, I've got to go back up into Zora's domain, pick up the bow, come down to do Eastern Palace, what's the flaw in my strategy? What am I, what's, my pea brain here not quite figuring out?
I'm not actually sure you're missing anything, so to say.
Salazar just seems to be looking for, all the locations they can check, and then saving, quitting, and it looks like we've seen the Quake Medallion for Misery Meyer. I don't believe they have that one yet. We know...
But Misery Meyer is, luckily enough, not a required dungeon today, unless it is... holding something else we have to absolutely need to pick up, like the lamp.
Well, with the fire rod, do you really need the lamp for anything in particular? So I believe all the runners have a fire source.
Yeah, I'm bad at dark rooms, though. Even with a fire rod, I can't do half of them.
Fair enough.
That looked like we got the bug net from dropping off the purple chest.
Well, it definitely looks like Nolly at least has the bug net. I think either Marty or P-Train was going through that sequence before as well with turning in the blacksmith.
And as Bombos is required for T-Rock, we don't actually need any other medallions again, unless, of course, we have to dip in the fire.
Yeah, that's true. You have the fire rod, you have the ice rod, but Alazon choosing not to go directly into Turtle Rock.
No, Samaria.
Ah, okay. And Hookshot Cave didn't seem too exciting there. Let's see. Well, Marty seems to be, with the bow in tow, we've got, silvers too, so this is going to be a quick little run through the Armos Knights for Marty, and that looks like that'll be crystal number 3. I do not believe Marty has gone back to the library yet.
Does not look like it. Possibly never checked the library. Hard to tell, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, Marty was not one of the runners that we had at the start. So there's about, I want to say, 15 minutes that we just didn't have Marty or Nale covered. But it looks like Marty's headed there right now, so definitely knows about it.
Alazan fluting up to the witch's hut. Looks like he's gonna go finish and get that bow now. Book of Medora in Cliff Cave. Interesting.
Alright, so now we need to see who's bold enough to go and do just a ped check just for lulz. So I don't think it's actually going to be required at this point. From what I think we know at this point, Marty 7449 is the closest to go mode, if not in go mode, but doesn't really entirely know it yet. Alazun has the bow, bailed out, and probably going to go over to Eastern Palace. Now, Palace of Darkness is not a crystal, so... Not sure I'd want to go there. Ice Palace check? Alazun, what are you doing? This Ice Palace, yeah.
Interesting play. I mean, Ice Palace is fully completable. Alazun just has not picked up that half magic from the top of Spectral Rock yet, though.
Well, with how much you have to use either... well, with the Bombos Medallion, you could break Cold Stare's shell with that. So... maybe Alazun's kind of going, I don't really need to go out of my way for that. You know, I could just be, you know, completely wrong in that regard. But, I mean, that's why I'm a commentator and not a runner. Because I think if I were in Alazun's shoes, I would have made the play for Eastern Palace before this section.
Especially with Ice Palace, does tend to hit hard, and our players do not have any armor pickups from the looks of it. And
no, it looks like everybody's still on green mail, which is not where you want to be when you're doing, you know, by the design of the game, dungeons that are meant for having at least green mail, or excuse me, blue mail, if not red mail. Well, it looks like Alazun's going to have a go at the bomb jump, which, since it's not any kind of enemizer madness, should be a lot easier to get the ledge input correctly.
does it very nicely.
Now, Marty looks to be still item hunting. I'm kind of surprised that, well, I guess, well, has the canes, has the rods. Why is Marty in Misery Mire? What am I thinking?
Possibly
I'm
looking for
confused.
that lamp still for TR Maze?
That could be.
More health, more armor. There we see the mushroom and checkerboard cave.
Yeah, that doesn't look too exciting because they already, I think everybody's got the bat item, which I believe was either arrows or an arrow upgrade. Nothing too fancy about that one.
Right. Marty making what looks like to be our first to dip in the desert palace proper here.
Was
And it
there...
looks like Alazun still never did go back to get that lamp. Not lamp, the mirror.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's definitely something I put on my notes as... looks like we see a Quake medallion from... or is that Ether from Alazun?
I missed it. I was looking at Marty's desert palace check.
I always get the Quake and the Ether ones mixed up.
Was it a lightning bolt?
No, it's the other one.
Okay, so Quake.
Well, I could say they're both lightning bolts, but the one's turned sideways.
That's true. the lightning bolt one that is the normal way is ether.
Okay. They both look the same to me, so... Like, yeah, it's the squirrely line.
Quite. That one's quite. When I started playing Rando, I hadn't played A Link to the Past, and for so long, I kept getting all my medallions confused. So, I understand.
Now, since chat is kind of speculating, I'm going to, reiterate again that only Alazun and P-Train started on the stream. I don't know... It's obviously above my pay grade, but we only started with 2 runners, and then Nale and Marty7449 joined in roughly 15 minutes into the restream. So the items that Nale and Marty have may be missing or accidentally marked, and of course there's technical difficulties that cause the stream to go, but I think the trackers are on it, and it was a Bombos medallion for Alazun that broke Cold Stare. With all these eyes running around, boy. Oh no.
Oh,
Alazun, taking a death to Cold Stare. That's exactly what I was thinking, Cube. Used the half magic and triggered the Bombos, and I was waiting to see Alazun switch over to that fire rod, but it just happened a little too late.
Alazun still hasn't picked up that half magic off of Spectacle Rock yet, though.
Well, that's definitely gonna cause an issue, because Alazun has, I guess at this point, orphaned 2 fairly important items with the half magic and the mirror. I just don't see a point at which Alazun's gonna go back for either. It looks like Nale is doing Thieves Town now. It looks like escorting Blind. But yeah, especially when you have green mail, chat. Cold Stare does a lot of damage. I think it's actually possible for Cold Stare to just one-shot Alazun from full health.
P-Train possibly dipping into Turtle Rock here.
Definitely looks like it right now. Gonna push in the hammer pegs and appear up on top of Turtle Rock. Alazun picked up a fairy, so that'll help for the immediate time being, at least for the life. I think... Well, looks like gonna be able to use Bombos again, so that shouldn't be an issue, but hopefully Alazan executes a little better this time and polishes off Cold Stare. Oh. Alazan was sitting on a blue potion. Oh no.
Oh no.
Used the blue potion and then ended up taking a death anyway. That's so gross. Looks like P-Train's headed into our Turtle Rock dive. Marty's in Thieves Town escorting Blind. Nale has just finished Thieves Town. Looks like over by Misery Mire at this point. But I don't think a side of those items gonna do too much there. Desert Palace, however, is a crystal, so it looks like we're gonna get some light reading in and head into Desert Palace. Yes, unfortunately, Alazan has died twice to Cold Stare here.
And as OK Guy mentioned, yes, this is a very big race, a total of, I believe, 40 players.
Uh-oh. One of my friends is showing up into the chat.
Uh-oh.
I know, the revelation that I actually have friends is probably shocking to everybody.
Well, I consider you a friend. Why wouldn't I?
Ay. You never know. You never know. We have P-Train picking up our lamp, it looked like, in Turtle Rock.
I believe at this point, P-Train is in go mode proper.
Well, I think Marty is fundamentally in go mode as well.
Yeah. The lamp, of course, a wonderful find right before the dark maze.
That's very true. That I think now, hopefully you would know better than I would. But does the logic account for, and this is open to chat as well, does the logic account for being able to see in rooms like these in Turtle Rock or the Zelda escape room, things like that, in open mode?
Logically, the game doesn't expect you to complete them without having the lamp, or if... I'm not actually sure if the fire rod qualifies, because there are some dark rooms that don't have the things. But yeah. Logic should require you to do exactly 0 dark rooms.
Oh, look out. Alazan, round 3 against Cold Stare. It looked like had all 3 of them in the corner, but they broke loose. And Alazan with a second blue potion. All right, 1 down. 2 more to go. P-Train is starting the Trihex fight, as Alazan has 1 last Cold Stare Eye, and there we go. Big 20 rupee reward and a crystal.
P-Train using some excellent hammer strats here on Trinex. Opting to just say, screw it, fire rod of the ice neck.
I think that's one of the benefits of having the half magic, is you can just sort of go for it. Looks like Marty is gonna follow Alazan into Ice Palace, as Alazan seems to be headed toward Turtle Rock at this point. Could even be Tower of Hera, just trying to set up to do both.
Quite possibly.
Nale has gone into Turtle Rock now as well.
Looks like P-Train will be moving into Ice Palace at this point.
Alright, so Alazan's going for Tower of Hera. P-Train, Ice Palace. Marty is at the end of Ice Palace and taking on Cold Stare. Hopefully, has... Okay, definitely has a blue goo to use. And just gonna take advantage of half magic and spam that ice, or fire rod. Yeah. Surprisingly, the red one is called the fire rod. Nale in the roller room looked like trying to hug a roller, and probably just taking an intentional death to get to the end of that area a little quicker and resume going through Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
Marty has Ice Palace complete. And looks like gonna refill blue goo. Now, Turtle Rock for Marty at this point. Nale taking another death. I don't know what happened there. Alazan is working through the Tower of Hera basement, and I think going to start to climb up the Tower of Hera, as P-Train has started to make their way through Ice Palace, picking up a Quake Medallion along the way. Nale seems to be, unfortunately, struggling here, trying to get through Turtle Rock.
Very unfortunate. Nolly getting chin chomped, evidently.
Oh no. Again. P-Train looks to be using the, in case of cold stare, grab and use one fire rod and use liberally. Apply to the affected areas. I believe that puts P-Train on 6 crystals now. So it'll be Desert Palace that is left for P-Train. Marty is working through their 7th crystal dungeon in Turtle Rock. Nale has 4 crystals that we know about. The same with Alazan. Marty gonna lose just a little bit of time, not able to set up the hook shot to fall back out toward the door quick enough. And now it looks like Alazan is headed to Eastern Palace. Oh, yeah, I guess checking Sashrola's basement first is a sound strategy. And there's our blue cane, Sashrola's closet there. Nale going down to Zora, I guess up to Zora, and finally picking up the bow. So all of our runners have the bow. I believe Alazan is the only one that does not have silvers, potentially.
Alazan should have just gotten silvers from the faucet as well.
Hopefully,
Yep. He does. Very hard to tell because the screen size, but he definitely picked them up.
Okay, so Alazan does have silver arrows. Okay, that is, yeah, a lot harder for me to pick up on if that's a silver arrow or a regular.
Yes, I'm nearsighted, so in order for me to tell the color difference, I've basically got to be on my computer monitor.
No. Now, do you think Marty's just trying to get through Turtle Rock, knowing that fundamentally in go mode at this point, there's nothing that could be in Ganon's tower, like, you know, the boots being on the torch, or, excuse me, the big key on the torch that requires the boots?
It's possible. With the way Turtle Rock is, though, you end up almost always end up checking all of the chests anyways, it feels like.
Well, that was interesting from Marty. It looked like he was trying to grab the skull off the ground at the same time as pulling a bomb. But P-Train will be our first to get all 7 crystals as finishing off Lanmolas, and I think it's about that time that we play a little game. Do you remember what that game is, Spy Poet?
This game, also known as Call Your Chest. Ganon's Tower Big Key is somewhere between chest 1 and chest 22. We do not use the bot for this since it's not a tourney game. The
So-
higher, the
so your
more you
mission-
want our players to suffer.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it, chat, and it looks like a lot of you have, guess the number of where the big key will show up. Now, ladies first, where's it going to be?
7.
Oh, so we're both going early on then. I'm going with number 5.
And as chat mentioned, yes, Winter Watcher did finish in first at 1 hour and 10 minutes. Not restreamed with us today, of course, but
But that is a really good time. 1 hour and 10 minutes.
oh yeah, for sure.
And it looks like 1 hour, 11 minutes, well, let's say 50 seconds. P-Train will begin the ascent up Ganon's tower as searching for the big key.
Allison checking Spike Cave for some reason here.
Ooh, number 1 and number 2 are negative. But we have a key.
Ooh, looks like P-Train opting to go right here.
Yeah, picking up a key, I think I agree with going right here. But only one. So this may not end up working out. Who knows? But number 1 was junk. Number 2 was junk. Well, I guess I can't call a key junk, but I will anyway. Number 3,
A
arrows.
single arrow.
Number 4, medallion. Number 5, I was wrong. Beast. Number 6, bombs.
This effectively makes my choice gonna be on top of the torch if it is number 7.
I believe it would be, yeah. Let's see,
No, just a small key. Not big enough.
well, you guessed where a key was. I can give you half credit for that.
Alright, half a point. Ooh.
Number 8, nope. Number 9, negative. Number 10, a burrito. Number 11, piece of heart.
We just had a second place taken by Lose24 at 1 hour 14 minutes. Once again, not one of our restreamed racers, but this seed was just exceptionally quick today.
See, I think P-Train picked something up there. It's didn't look like anything too interesting, like a big key. Oh, there we go. There's the big key. I believe number 12 is our winner today. So, Steve Play Game looks like the first one in chat to declare number 12. Uh-oh. Looks like I may have missed something, and their chat's trying to correct me and say it's 13. But I didn't see a 13th chest. Did I miss something? It's probably likely. I blame lag.
Well, we've got Marty going through the exact same routing choices Petra did here, so we can just count all over again.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if there was a chest that I missed and was looking at other runners on while it was picked up by Marty. I definitely remember these four, so there's got to be one stray chest off by itself.
Possibly we missed the double firebar room.
That could be. It might be the double firebar room. But, yeah, you know, we'll you know, examine it and recount. I've definitely been wrong in the past, and have no problem admitting that I'd be wrong on this one too. Well, looks like we have a couple more finishers. We have first and second already announced. Dracaris, third place, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 30 seconds. Zelgadizian, 1 hour, 17 minutes, 11 seconds. Fifth and sixth is a tie with Gem and GamerCal, both 1 minute, 17 seconds, 41 seconds. Shady Force in seventh, a full second behind, 1:17:42. Emo Saru is our 8th place finisher with 1:18:48 seconds. And that brings you up to date with everybody who's finished so far.
We've got Nail and Elizon both going through Turtle Rock at this point. This will be Nail's last dungeon. Elizon will have to dip back and finish Desert Palace from the looks of it.
Now, of course, Marty went and picked up a chest between, so it would be 13 would be the correct answer, and not 12 like I had originally thought. So let's see if I can scroll the chat far enough back to pick up on.
Petrain headed into his trigonometry fight. While my dear Kokam is scrolling, Walther Ivy has just finished in the 9th at 1 hour, 20 minutes, 17 seconds.
Well, it looks like nobody actually picked 13, but, you know, I stand by my previous winner of Steve Play Game.
Fair enough.
Just, they guessed 12 instead of 13, so, oh well. Now I want to go and sing the police songs after Ganon busting out the chorus for Don't Stand So Close to Me. Now, with a level 2 sword, P-Train's going to have a little work to do, and it looks like all the runners that are being restreamed look like they're going to be going at this with only a level 2 sword.
Yeah, Runner Watcher in the Twitch chat did inform us that another sword upgrade was on the mushroom, which, as we both know, every single one of our restreamers found the mushroom and opted not to pick it up.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, they used the powder to trigger the bat, and I think none of the runners really bothered with the witch's hut after that point. P-Train is gonna have to bust a move here to... Oh no! Hopefully it has a bottle, but it doesn't look... Oh, there we go. There's the fairy. And Forgotten to Pay, one of our trackers, is posting the finishers' times in the chat for us. I believe the mushroom was Checkerboard Cave. Started scribbling notes off on top of other notes. As we have Marty finishing off the Lanmolas refight. Alazun finishing Turtle Rock, saving quitting, and looks like gonna head over to Desert Palace. Nale is gonna start the Ganon's Tower ascent. Oh, just staying on the ledge. P-Train almost getting knocked off.
P-Train's gonna give me a heart attack if this keeps up.
Unfortunately, not able to pull off the torch glitch, but this should do it.
Indeed it does.
And we have bacon. Alright, so Forgotten to Pay has brought us up to 15th. Hikutype finished in 16th with 1 hour, 24 minutes, 14 seconds. P-Train, the first of our restreamed runners, finished in 17th with a time of 1 minute, 24... 1 hour, 24 minutes, 16 seconds. Hello, P-Train. Are you with us?
I believe so.
Beautiful. So take us through this madness. Help me out here.
I can't believe that sub 1 hour go mode got me 17th place. That says a lot about the seed we just ran. All in all, it was a super, super nice seed. I really enjoyed it. I like the way the routes worked out. Particularly like finding Boots in Hype Cave gave me a really nice route. Through Village of Outcast, through Thieves Town, into Skull Woods, all the way to the Bow, which I followed to Eastern, which gave me Samaria. So yeah, just all in like the way the items were laid out, I thought the seed was really nice. I was very glad not to have put off Ice Rod Cave because that ended up being, the only sword I found, outside of Fighter Sword. So otherwise I would have been in sword mode after seeing what was the Turtle Rock Medallion.
I think rumor has it that the Witch's Hut had one of the sword upgrades, and I believe Checkerboard Cave was where the mushroom was.
Really? They're out of the other restreamers. Like, did they have tempered, or did
No,
everybody finish their master?
everybody has a level 2 sword. Marty was right on your heels. He's about ready to go into the Aghanim fight. Alazun has Desert Palace left to go, and Nale is just started to head into Ganon's tower.
Runner Watcher popped in and informed us about the mushroom.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this was a really fun seed. The items were super nice. I mean, I don't think I no, I didn't. I did not dive a single pendant dungeon. Swamp Palace, Pod, Mire, I didn't touch any of them.
Runner Watcher was actually the person who finished first, and then had mentioned it in the chat that one of the swords was there in the witch's hut. But as for the restreamed runners, well, you were the first to finish, obviously.
Cool. Yeah, I felt really excited. I really felt like I had hit the god route there. Once I found out that Turtle Rock was Bamos, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm doing great." Then Runner Watcher finished, and then I hit Ganon Tower, and everyone just started top dunning. I was like, "Dang, am I even going to get top 10?" And yeah, then I got sniped by Hiketite. I think that's how you pronounce the name. By 2 seconds for 16th place, so I wound up 7th, which is still a really good finish. But yeah, I can't believe the siege was that fast. I really enjoyed playing it. I love it when, I mean, with the exception of the bow and maybe one or two other items, I really felt like the items were in the locations that people most often check. So it wasn't like you had to dive, pendant, swamp for ice rod or something like that. So all in all, I thought the seed was super nice.
I think that might have been really the only place where you lost time, was going a little too early into Zora's domain because of the unfortunate occurrence of where the bow was.
Yeah, I don't know that I really, I'm not too upset about that because I still had the information of where it was. So after I got done fake flippering, there was no chance of me diving Eastern Palace, hoping to get lucky there. So at least I knew where it was. And then once I had boots, especially given that swamp was a pendant, if I didn't find flippers by the time I finished up Skull, I was going to do the Boots Water Walk to go get that bow, so I didn't need flippers. Because you can fake flipper in Ice Palace, so I had that in the back of my mind, especially after I found the boots in Hype Cave. So I wasn't too upset that I wasn't able to grab the bow the first time. I figured I'd be back up in that area, especially knowing that the mitts were on library, so I knew boots were somewhere.
This was one heck of a seed. We have over 23 people putting in.
Out of the 23 people, I'm scrolling back in IRC chat, I don't know that one person has finished and not had a personal best. I think everybody's getting a personal best on this seed.
Well, I think it seems to reason that every time I commentate, it's either a super fast seed and everybody duns very quickly, or it's just absolute nonsense of the highest order. And since it was open mode, I guess we got the super fast end of things this time around.
I'm very grateful for that. This was an absolute pleasure to run.
So I think two of the people that were in the top 5 was in one of the races that I had commentated on about a month ago, and Runner Watcher's time is very close to making top 5 as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I had realized that... I didn't realize I was 2 items... Well, I knew that... I didn't know what the Turtle Rock Medallion was, so I didn't know how that was going to play out. But other than that, I knew where the bow was, so really all I needed was Cane of Samaria. And if I had realized that a little bit earlier, I was so pleased with how the routing was working out because I was able to get, from Skull Woods, I did the Lumberjack check, Bonk Rocks, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, none of which were required, none of which even had anything useful. Maybe a heart piece or something like that. If I had realized how close I was to go mode, I might have been a little bit more aggressive in terms of diving crystal dungeons. Because honestly, getting that bow Eastern was going to be my next stop. And after Canis Samari, I was like, well, depending on what Turtle Rock is, I might actually be in go mode. But there was part of me that was like, even if I find a sword, I'm going to be happy, and that was kind of one of the things I was hoping for, that even if I didn't find a go mode item, maybe I find Tempered Sword or something like that.
So was that part of the plan to go into Ganon's tower and hopefully pick up the level 3 sword, which is the Tempered Sword?
Yes, I did a little bit of poking around Hyrule. Like I think I full cleared Laser Bridge. I didn't check the lava island, but I didn't check Mimic Cave, but I did full clear Turtle Rock. Otherwise, I checked the Freezor room in Ice Palace, but I didn't bother with the Pentagator room. I think I checked Desert Ledge. I checked the Shooter room or the Cannonball room in Desert. So I poked around a little bit. I didn't check Checkerboard Cave, which. Ironically, like I thought about it, I was like, man, it's so close, I need to check it. Because if it's tempered, I would have saved that time. But at that point, I was just kind of banking on a late key in GT. Because that's been my downfall of many other seeds, is where I get too greedy looking for a tempered sword. And it ends up biting me.
Well, indirectly, Checkerboard Cave was the Tempered Sword. Because, I'm going... by information from the chat, Runner Watcher said that he picked up the mushroom in the Checkerboard Cave, and I believe you turn that into the Witch Hut, and that gives you an item, and that item was the Tempered Sword this time around.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I'd picked up that mushroom, hands down, I would have turned it in. But also what was running through my mind is at that point, I don't think anyone had done. So, and being like sub 1 hour go mode, I really, really, really I was shooting for like top 10. So I didn't want to get too greedy and, lose 4 places for a, vain search for a Tempered Sword.
Now, that's very true. But then again, you are all running the same seed, so, maybe everybody else could have been thinking that same way. I want the Tempered Sword, let me go hunt a little bit for it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the way it goes. I mean, because maybe it wasn't Checkerboard. I mean, obviously we know what it is now, but, when you're running the seed, it could be Checkerboard Cave, it could have been the big chest in Desert, it could have been Ether Tablet. There were a bunch of things, at least from my perspective, little one-off checks that I hadn't checked yet. So I kind of checked the things that were easy to get to and close, on my way. I didn't want to mirror from the light world to the dark world too many times, just because I felt like that was wasting time. I mean, unless you find the Tempered Sword, but like I said, when I was looking at my tracker, like how much I had left to check that was open to me. I mean, you had the entirety of Swamp, you had the entirety of Pod, you had a lot of overworld checks. Just at that time, I was like, man, what are the odds of, this one-off location actually being a sword upgrade? So I checked the things that were like what I considered to be like on my way and convenient to check, but I tried not to go too far off because I just didn't want to waste too much time in case that Tempered Sword didn't show up, and I just ended up wasting a bunch of time. Which apparently I went as far as I could to lose time yet not get rewarded for it, because I searched everything but Checkerboard Cave. I was like, no, I'm just going for it. I'm just go mode from here on out, and then that was the one location that would have gotten me the Tempered Sword.
Oh well, it happens. I mean, hindsight and all,
Oh yeah, but I mean, aside from that small thing though, like I'm very happy. I felt like my execution was pretty good. I hula hand at the beginning, which didn't pay off because we got quite a few rupee hordes early. Although I do think I was able to check Zora early because of that, but I don't know, the way flippers were, that really wasn't a huge advantage. Especially with the flute.
Yeah, I think with the way things went going into Zora, well, you can't really count on the bow being on Zora's ledge, so, you know, you just kind of throw your hands up and go, But, you know, a lot of runners are, well, two of the restreamed runners are having difficulties with Ganon. Is there a point at which you just kind of go, I really would like to have, you know, blue mail?
Yes. Particularly, like, I forgot that I had green mail until I started making the run up to Ganon's Tower, and I went face to face with those Lionels. I went from, like, full health to, I think, 5 or 6 hearts left. That I was like, oh dang, I'm wearing green mail. I need to be much more careful with green mail and Master Sword. So yeah, that, and I didn't find the cape. I don't know if anybody else did, but I know the cape is a game changer when you're doing Master Sword Ganon, especially depending on how you route it. I know I ended the game with like 3 bottles. So but yeah, cape is a game changer.
Alazon found the cape, but I can't recall off the top of my head where it was. And on that note, Marty7449 is our second restreamed runner, finishing in 31st with a place of with a time of 1 hour, 37 minutes and 38 seconds. But, Alazon does have the cape. I believe he is the only one of the restreamed runners that has the cape.
You'd be correct.
Do you remember where it showed up, Spy? I do not remember seeing it.
Unfortunately, I don't.
I think it might have been in the Pyramid Fairy room.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I didn't get Pyramid Fairy until after Go Mode, and I wasn't about to make that walk.
Yeah, I certainly don't blame you. Pyramid Ledge had nothing of real value.
Yeah, I think that was a big 20.
I don't know if Marty's going to join us. If he does, definitely want to have him in here to ask a couple questions.
Invite is out. I see him down in our setup room. Should have him up here in just a minute here.
Yeah, after a run like that, I definitely do understand the want to just kind of take a minute and compose yourself, and then jump in the chat for a bit.
Yeah, especially like with a seed as free as this one, like Master Sword Ganon is kind of a buzzkill at the end of it, because it's, you know, you tear through the seed, it's like a sub 1 hour go mode, and then Ganon just feels like it takes forever.
Well, I don't want to tell too many military secrets here, but Ganon's winning a lot.
Yeah, Master Sword Ganon, it's not impossibly difficult, but it's one of those things that if you've never practiced before, it's not exactly intuitive.
I believe that was the ding. Marty, you with us?
Hey, yeah, can you guys hear me?
Well, you're very faint. I can just barely hear you. Might have to turn up the volume a little bit.
Probably something wrong with it.
Yeah, I can hear you very, very faintly. Hopefully we can get that sorted out. And it looks like Nale is starting the last phase of the Ganon fight. That should be one more hit right here, and that should do it for Nale. There we go. Nale has finished in 33rd place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, 53 seconds. Looks like Mafia Guido finished in 32nd with a time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 47 seconds. So get those GGs in the chat, and Nale should be with us shortly, as I believe Marty's trying to sort out an issue with the microphone. Oh, I heard a beep.
Yep,
Could that be Nale?
that is correct.
Hi.
Hey.
So how about that Ganon fight?
Well, no, I need to practice Mass Sword Ganon, that's for sure. And apparently, I did learn today, King O'Brien does not allow me to spin while active.
No, unfortunately it does not. So yeah, this was a Ganon that was not easy. Green Mail, Master Sword.
12 or 13 hearts. Yeah. But at least we had silvers. Gotta see it from the bright side.
That is true. You did have, you know, Phase 4 was covered, but looked like it was a little rough trying to get that far into the fight, unfortunately.
It was.
Is there anything about the seed that kind of stuck out where you just kind of go, oh, I really would have liked to have done this a little bit differently, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, I need to play more open, because I forgot all about Hyrule Castle.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit different in open compared to standard.
Yeah, but, you know, usually that's already done and done with. So, I ended up at a point where I had to really think, like, there's nothing left. Oh yeah, Hyrule Castle.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because unfortunately I can only kind of speculate as to what a runner's thinking. You know, that's why, you know, in the interview stage afterward, we can kind of grill you a little bit and, you know, all the things you might have been thinking about, you know, when you were going through the seed. You know.
So, otherwise, the only thing I was worried about was the Turtle Rock Medallion.
Yeah, that definitely seemed to be a concern of the other runners as well. Did you just kind of blind check it and go, oh, nice, it's Bombos. I have that one. Great.
I kind of went, okay, I'm in go mode in Desert Palace, because I know where the bow is. And then I skipped both the big chest and the one way back in Desert. I realized that, oh, I'm not sure which medallion it is. Yeah, let's hope for the best. And then I went up and checked it, because I didn't want to do Ice Palace go mode if I didn't have the right medallion. And that's where all the change chomps got me, like 3 times or something.
Yeah, I saw you struggle in there, and that was definitely unfortunate.
I had one of the times where it doubled back on me. I had one time where I didn't get the iframes from the blocks, and one that just went south.
All right. Just give me a second here. Alazan, who was the 4th and last of our restreamed runners, has finished in 36th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes flat. it looks like we've had a couple other runners finish as well. Rudolph Fahrenheit finished in 34th with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, 4 seconds. And Tail finished in 35th with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, 32 seconds. And I've heard a couple beeps. I think Alazun is going to join us in the chat soon enough.
So, quick question. My stream cut out during Ice Palace, right?
Everybody's stream, unfortunately. Yeah, I kind of made the comment that, I blame Spy Poet because, convenience, and I think she hit a button. But I know, she'll moan and groan at me for that all night. But, I gotta blame somebody. I know it wasn't me. But, yes, the stream did cut out.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. My cold stare was so clean, you have no idea.
I certainly would have liked to have seen it.
That should have been that was probably the fastest scene I've ever played. That felt like it should have been a PB.
Well, the lack of bombs early on, I think, did not help you.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a very, very greedy start that I do, and I've started to really liking it. In about 80% of runs, I find bombs before I hit Kakariko. And in about 18% of in the 18% of runs where I don't get there, nothing is behind those bombable things in Kakariko. And then there's today.
Yeah, unfortunately, that the 1/10 of 1% chance of something being, where you really don't want to have it, and I just cringed, and I'm going, oh no.
I'm glad I went back there. I was ready to jump into Misery Mire at that point, but I'm really glad I went back there. That's definitely the first time I've gotten Go Mode in Blind's Basement.
Yeah, usually you need a couple more items after getting through Blind's Basement, but the location of the bow didn't seem to help anybody either.
No, if I hit, and I wasn't going to get boots before then. If I could have gotten boots before then, I could have chained together the water walk and fake flippers and grabbed the bow really early. But with the boots being in Dark World, not particularly deep, they were, Hype Cave? Or one of the dungeons? I don't remember.
I believe Hype Cave, yes.
Yeah, I think it was Hype Cave. But with the way it's set up there, it would have been very, very easy to, or it would have been a nice sort of treat to pick up the bow there. But unfortunately, I just had to wait for flippers and make my double trek back up to Zora.
I have a really quick question for you. So we were watching your Ganon fight, and I was super jealous because you had cape. I don't think anyone else had cape. Pyramid. Okay, gosh. I was watching. I was like, "Where the heck? What's that?" That would have been so nice.
Oh.
Everybody else would have hit Ganon or would have hit Go Mode before they got to Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
So I did Turtle Rock, and I still didn't have Mirror because I had forgotten to, or I didn't forget. I couldn't get a bomb to save my life early in the seed. I literally had to double dip Paradox Cave.
Did you know that the stun prize was a bomb?
I found out the stun prize was a bomb, but by the time I did, I had nothing to kill anything with until after I had already done Paradox Cave the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went a long time without getting a bomb. And so I hit Turtle Rock, and I still didn't have the mirror, and I was like, okay, whatever, mirror is probably going to be in Pyramid Fairy with the way this scene is shaped out. And no. It was the cape in a 10 arrow capacity boost or something. And I'm like, well, I got Quake kind of early. Maybe I should check Misery Mire. And I'm like, let me just check Blind's Basement just to be sure. Yeah, it hurt a lot.
I suppose you found Lamp as well?
Yeah, I did find Lamp. Which was also in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, big chest in Turtle Rock.
I was fine to go without lamp. Especially not having to do Palace of Darkness or Misery Mire. Like, those are the two hardest dark rooms in the game. And I can do them, but they add some frustration.
Yeah, I'd rather not, but I could if I had to.
Yeah. I won't change my routing based on whether I have lamp or not. It was just very convenient to find lamp right before I was going to drop into the Turtle Rock dark rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I skipped that chest.
Yeah, I was ready to, I'm really upset, too. I hit every bombable thing in Kakariko on my way, like, back up to Skull Woods, I think. But because of where Blind's hut is, I'm like, well, my access is through Glove and Hammer. And so I went in the back way and just hit Skull Woods and Thieves Town. I don't think I've ever done 5-heart Greenmill Mothula before. That was a little bit clenchy.
I think I beat... No, that was Blind. My Blind fight ended on 1 heart, because I was stubborn and didn't want to switch to Cane of Burna.
I didn't have Cane of Burna there.
I died there.
I did Burna strats.
I've switched my sort of warm-up routine. I do a lot of Mothula fights with lower and lower gear, but I usually put myself around 7 hearts, and I literally walked into the fight with 1 heart, but I had the fairy in a bottle. And so I used my fairy and ended up at 1 heart at the end. But it was very, very nerve-wracking on my side.
So I'd like to point out of the 38 players that have completed the seed so far, 31 of them PB'd.
Yeah, this was a fast seed. Glad to be one of the 7, though.
Oh no.
This was about 10 minutes off my PB. Unfortunately.
Well, sometimes you just kind of get things to fall into place, but this seed looked like, you know, if you would have somehow got, you know, the flippers or the boots and were able to pick up the bow early, I think that would have given a very big advantage.
So the problem with that is I think it would have made people really, really happy to go to Palace of Darkness, which had basically nothing. I don't know if anyone here did it. I didn't step in.
Nope.
I think at this point the only thing it could have had was maybe a sword upgrade or mail upgrade. One of the we talked earlier before y'all got in here. One of the sword upgrades, Checkerboard Cave had the mushroom, which led to a sword upgrade at the Witch's Hut. I didn't get it. I don't think any of us did.
Yeah, I did not get that, given that mirror was my go mode. Yeah, I don't know. That was actually, like, I had a lot of fun with that seed. And obviously I wish I hadn't gotten bomb locked. I wish either, like, the poultry had given me it, or the bush crab, or any of the enemies. Like, I've now practiced that sort of start a lot, that I'm pretty good at finagling a bomb out when I need it, but just couldn't grab one.
They don't hide in the bushes, like as a random drop?
There are a couple of places where they hide in bushes, consistently and reliably. Just not really in the path that I go, at least not to my knowledge.
Yeah, next to the Haunted Sacred Grove, or Cave 45, there are 2 bushes that have a 50-50...
That used to be my path that I would do, is I'd start at Link's house, and then I would farm that area for a couple of bombs, and then hit Kakariko. But I've really started liking the fact that I can get a lot of the quick checks out of the way when I start in Sanctuary and just head right up to Lumberjack. So I can check poultry, I can check the bush crab, I get multiple enemies to kill, I get to know if I'm going to have to do Aghanim because of Lumberjack. But it's a greedy start, and it can bite you really hard, and it did today.
Well, I mean, it's high risk, high reward. Like, when that opening works out, it's super strong.
Oh, like when I walk up there and I'm like, it's the fire, and I'm like, I feel so good right now. Because I can imagine someone just like walking around for like basically 100%ing the game trying to look for stuff. And I'm thinking, actually, hold on. Yeah, so I ended up at a 135 collection rate, which still feels insanely low. And I mean, I didn't do a lot of searching for the mirror, and I actually didn't tab back into IRC to check the channel until like right when I had decided to go to Blind's Hut, and I saw like 30 people had finished. I'm like, what? And at that point, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be here in the basement just because of how many people had finished already, that it couldn't have been like a scavenger hunt for the mirror.
Yeah, I think between all four of you, the restreamed runners, Marty was the one who collected the most at 136.
Yeah, and I barely came under that.
Well, it was Marty with 136, Alazan and P-Train, you both had 135, and Nale with 133.
Oh, so yeah, I
So
feel like...
really, Nale was a true winner.
I won something! Yes!
I feel like I probably would have been around like 137, which is my PB, if I hadn't greeted out as hard as I did on Cold Stare. I'm like, I have these blue pots, but I can probably... I'm like, well, I'm one hit from dead, but I have a bunch of magic. Let me throw these fire rod shots. And, no. And then the second time I went back in, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to be greedy this time. I'm going to use my potions. And I took a hit, and I'm like, oh, well, I better use my potion. And one of the Cold Stare blobs was in the process of dying, so I couldn't menu. And I took another hit before I could actually, like, he could end up dying. And so I couldn't drink my potion, and it was very sad for me.
I think the basement of Thieves Town had a bottle with the fairy in it, and I was able to hold on to that for the majority of the run. So I was able to be like, especially with like Trinex and Cold Stare, a little bit more aggressive. Oh, Sick Kid? I thought it was Sick Kid, but I don't know. I remember getting a big 20 from.
Yeah,
but,
I used that one for Skullwoods.
Yeah, I was able to hold on to that for the majority of the run, so it allowed me to be a little bit more aggressive with Trinex and Cold Stare. So that was I ended up keeping it. I used it finally on the Ganon fight.
I felt good about my Trinex though. I usually kind of expect when I go in and have to hammer Trinex without half magic that I'm going to have to use a blue pot just for magic. And I managed to just snake through with my last shot. It's not a bad fight if you're well geared, but if you're poorly geared, it can be a little bit of a nightmare. Did anyone find any mail upgrades?
No.
Yeah.
No one did, as far as I can tell.
I think that's
a shield.
So I found a shield too. I don't remember where.
Somewhere in GT, I guess.
No, I had it early on.
It was before Turtle Rock, and I did that last.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine Turtle Rock was most people's last thing. What was everybody's go mode? Was it Kane of Samaria, or did you guys get something else?
It was Kane of Samaria for me, but I didn't know until I saw the Turtle Rock medallion.
Okay.
Which was my next check after clearing Eastern.
Makes sense.
And flippers in my case. Because I knew where the bow was.
Really? Flippers?
Yep.
Flippers was in Thieves Town?
The bombable hut in Thieves Town.
Okay, that's where it was. Wow, that's feels like a really early go mode. But I guess we got a bunch of stuff really early in this seed. And it was just a matter of, did you accidentally skip the mirror, or did you say, because a lot of people I assume knew where the bow was, but just didn't go.
So I kind of went Skullwoods, overtook the right side of Dark Pyro.
Okay, that makes sense.
Fluted back, went up, took the portal, and then took the stone, and after that, found the flippers.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I did Skullwoods and just went straight down the left side. And literally didn't hit east side of Dark World until I had cleared Turtle Rock and did Pyramid Ferry into Pyramid into Catfish. But yeah, that's fun scene. It's cool to see lots of people getting PBs.
Did anybody do, I know some of you did the blacksmith and the purple chest, but we were kind of Mr. Destructoiding out when I think two of the runners were doing that. What ended up coming of that?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, the bug net was in the purple chest.
Oh, okay. So the bug net was the big reward after all of that in the purple chest, but turning in the
wouldn't have
blacksmith
minded.
didn't give anything. Hammer peg cave.
I think Hammer Peg was a full heart container. Smiths were a heart piece. The Bat Cave was like 5 arrows or 5 arrows, and then we had the bug net purple chest.
All right, I think we're just about ready to tie this up. You guys have any kind of parting words you want to say before we close it down?
I just want to say thanks to everybody. Thank you, Frico and Spy Poet, for commentating. Thank you, Forgotten Toupe, and I think it's Leve18. You guys are like the unsung heroes. I appreciate you guys tracking, keeping everybody honest. I don't know, just all in all, this was a really fun race, and I appreciate all the volunteers that just made it happen. Thank you, Nale, Alizun, and Marty for also being restreamed. I really enjoyed running against you guys. Looking forward to watching the VOD later.
Again, thanks to all the volunteers. It doesn't happen without you, and I'm sure you guys knew I had a boomerang before I did, because I didn't discover that until Ganon's Tower. Ditto to P-Train. I always have fun racing against you. You beat me most times, although not usually by this much. But yeah, it's been lots of fun. For people watching, this is a fun thing to get into. I only got into this about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it's been a lot of fun to sort of get better and improve. And thanks, everybody.
Yeah, nothing to add, really. Thank you.
All right, well, I thank Spy Poet for coming in on a little, 11th hour. The person who I was supposed to commentate with through some reason or another wasn't able to make it, and Spy Poet filled in at the last minute. I thank Alizon, Nale, Marty, and P-Train for allowing me to commentate on their runs, as they were brave enough to take on the task today of being restreamed. And none of this would happen without the Speed Gaming Network hosting all of this. Forgotten Toupe, and I want to say level 8, although it's level 18. You're going to have to tell me what the proper way to pronounce that is at some point. The two of you for tracking for us, and I'm going to give the floor to Spy Poet for a bit, see what she has to say, and then I think we're going to shut it down.
As always, thank you, Restreamers, for putting together a fabulous show for us. Trackers, we wouldn't be able to come without you guys. If you're going to continue on to other speed gaming, we've got Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, their any % tournament on in Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight on Speed Gaming 1. Later tonight, we've got Luigi's Mansion and the Z1R randomizer for the evening as well. But aside from that, I think you covered everything. Thank everyone. Thank you, all of our watchers tonight.
All right, so on behalf of Spy Poet, I am Frico, and this was a speed gaming presentation of Link to the Past Randomizer, our weekly open race. Have a good night, everybody.